Okay, so as you can see, I am not in my regular filming spot. I'm on vacation this week, and I wasn't going to do a video or post anything, but the market just keeps going crazy, and I had a lot of things running through my mind, so I wanted to have a conversation with you. I had previously talked about in other videos how 2022 was feeling a lot like 2017, and that run-up in prices for the first little bit of the year was going to be absolutely insane, and then hopefully things would cool down. And yes, the market right now is absolutely bananas. I think that's basically the only way that I can say it. Every property that I look on paper and say, okay, well, it should kind of sell for that, sells for this, and some of the prices we're seeing are head scratching, and I want to make a little bit of sense about it with you today. And just before we jump into that, if you haven't already, we're doing a 5,000 subscriber giveaway on the channel. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do that and like this video. And hey, if you're already a subscriber, hey, nice to see you again. And my name is Tom Storey. I do run a real estate team in Toronto, not here in Toronto today, but I will be back in a few days. And if you want to go book an appointment with me, you can go into the first link in the description, a buyer consultation, a seller consultation, or just a call to chat about real estate. So there's three main topics I want to touch on today's video. And the first one is underpricing of properties, the frustration that a lot of people are seeing in that and why it's happening and how I think we could potentially solve it. The second is going to be the last 4 years of price increases. I want to go over a graph with you and kind of play out where we came from and how this happened. And even though prices typically double every 10 years in Toronto, how we're at a pace right now that I really just don't think is sustainable. And the third is just finding a solution to this market. What could be potentially done to make sure that things aren't as crazy as they are right now. First, let's chat about underpricing properties. Okay, so I know how frustrating it is. We have buyers every single week losing out on properties and multiple offers, and if we could just know the price, that would be great. On the flip side, I am guilty of underpricing a lot of our listings for our sellers because at the end of the day, if I'm hired by a seller, I have to do my best job to get them the maximum amount of money. And what I've noticed so far is that buyers are actively frustrated with the underpricing of properties, and I don't blame them at all, but they seem to be vocally frustrated. They're actively saying they're frustrated, but they're not actually doing anything about it. Now, what I mean by that is they continue to come to the table, and buyers are showing with their actions, not just their words, that this is the best type of strategy if you are a seller in today's market. Give you some general high-level thinking on this type of pricing. We talk about months of inventory all the time on this channel. It's basically the best way of understanding the absorption rate in the specific market that you're looking to buy or sell in. And how you find that number is at the end of every single month, you take the active listings that were available and how many sales happened, and you divide the active listings by the sales, and that gives you a number. Now, anything under 3 is a seller's market, and I think this underpricing of properties only works when there's under 2 months of inventory. And right now in the city of Toronto, there's 3 weeks of inventory. So for the underpricing, I totally get how frustrating it is. I don't think it's going to go away because it is a proven strategy that sellers are using, and we can like it, we can not like it, we can agree, we can disagree on it. The fact is it is working, but if the market ever flips, it's not going to play out like this, and people are going to have to start listing properties at what they are actually worth. Okay, so now I want to show you a quick graph, and we're going to go over it here. Now, this is the Toronto Real Estate Board average price index, basically from October 2017 all the way to January 2022. And you can see in October of 17, the average price was, just a shade under $800,000. We have ups and downs throughout the spring and summer and fall months, as we do every single year. But then when we get to about February 2021, we were still just under $1 million, right? So those few years there, we went up about $200,000, but it was at least reasonable growth. If you look at the chart now, that very top right dot, that red dot, our average price has gone way past $1 million. We're at $1.25 million right now in January 2022. So looking at that graph, to me as a realtor, says that can't last forever. That's not going to happen. And if I had to guess what's going to happen right now this year is that prices will continue to accelerate until about April. Then I think something's going to happen. When interest rates go up in March, that might help. If the government does some type of intervention, that actually might help. Something's got to change here. So it's actively started to rain on me here, so I'll get to my final point. I think the last thing that could potentially at least cool down the market a little bit, maybe just psychologically, in March, early March, Bank of Canada is going to increase rates. on the Bank of Canada overnight rate. It's going to happen. Whether it's 0.25 or 0.50, it's going to happen. Psychologically, will take a few buyers out of the market. Another potential solution that I actually do think would have the biggest impact on the market, which you could say would be negative or positive depending on your situation, would be if CMHC makes the minimum down payment on secondary properties to 35% down instead of what it is right now at 20% down. That will take a whole lot of people that were pulling equity from their house and want to buy an investment property out of the market, where these first-time home buyers would have more of an opportunity to buy a property. But I guess my question is to you, what do you think? How are you feeling right now? Are you frustrated with this market? What are your solutions? What are you going to do? If I'm a buyer right now, if I were you and you're a buyer, look for properties that have been sitting on the market over 15 days and go buy those ones. Who cares if they have crappy photos? Who cares if it's tenanted and doesn't show well? Go buy the listings that all the other buyers aren't looking at because they're all stuck falling in love with the beautifully staged properties that are underlisted. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will get back to my normal video setup in a very short period of time. My name is Tom Storey, and remember, home is where your story begins. There's a golf course right behind me, and there's literally golfers that have their ball like 5 feet away hitting it, so I'm just being quiet right now.